Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube and we're going to be doing the breakdown for the Graveborn faction. Now this is of course is a guide that is over on Reddit from Rakude. We're going to break it down. He breaks down all of the heroes within the faction, which I love how it is kind of segmented and broken down. Let's take a look at the guide. All right, guys, so here it is, the Graveborn's recommended investment guide by Rakude. Again, I'm going to put a link down below so you can check it out. And he used a little bit of format. I think this was the first one that he did when it came to the faction accounts. So we start off right here, guys, with the Awakened version of Baden. You can see very good top tier in pretty much every single game mode. Does exceptionally well. He is one of the top Awakened heroes to build. We're still waiting to see the second one that we're going to get within the Graveborn faction, but Baden, absolutely additional but not required. E67 and then 18 the small furniture to +3 for the attack and the crit, just really focusing on the damage that he does provide. And then of course you can go through here, check out the actual build, see the logic behind the signature item, the furniture and the engraving, which is what I really like about this guide, is that it's not just the sheer numbers of what you need to do, but it is a breakdown of everything that kind of the logic, why they're built a certain way. Now, looking at the second one, it is the original version of Baden, guys. So the 9 of 9 with Baden, the original version of Baden does work exceptionally well. Unfortunately, he is at the point where he's not really used anywhere. Average on the +20, I mean, short of probably the Graveborn Tower. He was in a Cursed Realm comp a little while ago, but overall, again, the 9 of 9 furniture was really the good point. You had to build him out to a point with 60 engraving, where you actually didn't have the effectiveness without it. But again, not a reason to invest in Baden, the original version of Baden as it is today. Now, Damon, very interesting, unique hero, guys. Now, Damon is one of the ones with his Blood Shield ability that doesn't have a hard cap. I know they said even though it is not displayed, there is kind of a cap when you start getting super high into level deficiencies. But you can see here, guys, even from what we've kind of talked about before, the +20 is top tier, the +30 is good, not a huge priority, especially early game if you are running Damon. 3 of 9 furniture is very good. The 9 of 9 is not needed at all. Same with the E60, guys. It's not that it's so much really bad, but with the added stats, there's not a huge difference really to use it. He works at the 3 of 9. 9 of 9, of course, is just optional if you want to add the little bit of addition stats. Now, the average for the E30, and you can see the E33 focusing on the haste. The haste, of course, is going to try to get that blood shield up a little bit earlier. He needs a little bit of time to scale within formations. If he doesn't have that time to scale, he will actually die out pretty fast if you don't have the ability to actually get that blood shield up and that survivability piece in there. Then we look at Desira. Now, she, of course, is a very solid hero in a bunch of different game modes. We also, I use her in the Temple Rift. She works incredibly well. Some players run her in the Treasure Scramble, again, working very well. The +20 is good. The +30 is very good. Now, of course, the +30 does give the damage reduction, that 16% damage reduction, which is awesome, but they do have to be inside the mist. And then the 3 of 9 furniture and the 9 of 9 is really strong because it keeps enemies from getting buffs, which of course is huge in PvP. The engraving on her, again, not needed. I don't have any engraving on Desira. Still has a lot of utility without having that engraving piece in there. Then we look at Edwin, guys. Edwin, of course, is our most recent Graveborn hero that we've seen. You can see the +20 and the 3 of 9 is both average, but the +30 falls into good. The 9 of 9 for him is very good, and then the E30 is very good. That is where I have him built. I'm at 309.30 for Edwin. That is where I'm keeping him, even though the 60, a little bit similar to Halos's with the energy, but it doesn't seem like it has the effectiveness or the usefulness that we see. Now, +20 is very strong. 30 allows him to deal a little bit of extra damage. Then when it comes to the furniture, it is his aura that he provides, that the domination or the dominions that he does provide. And then, of course, the 9 of 9 is an energy drain, which is very traditional when it comes to the Graveborn heroes. Then we look at Silas, guys. You can see top tier, good. He is super, super important. Because the +30 signature item is what gives the 20% attack rating when the targets or the allies are above the 50%. 3 of 9 furniture and 9 of 9 furniture are the same buffs, but it is provided for different heroes. Adds in a little bit of attack speed, and the ultimate ability also does have an immunity built into it, which is huge. Now the plus 30, of course, is going to give him some more healing, but the plus 60 has a damage reduction. It is a very small damage reduction with that plus 60. That is why it doesn't fall into that top tier, but it does work very well. Now looking at Nara, you can see very bad. The furniture on her is decent because of the ultimate ability. When it comes to signature item, I do the plus 20 just for stats. No reason to engrave her at all. Even though she got a rework a considerable amount of time ago, it doesn't really work as well as we'd want. And of course, the damage that she puts out is not super effective. So if you're looking, guys, 3 of 9 furniture is really all that you need her with. Provided she is only used in the tower now, is really the only place that you will see Nara. Then we move over and look at Fain. Fain is a hero, again, short of the tower, not a lot of utility. You can see we actually get into the 9 of 9 is good. His E60 is very good, which of course is that crowd control. So when they go into the bone prison, actually does a lot of crowd control. Again, but it is kind of situational and kind of locked into the Graveborn Tower. We're not seeing him in a lot of PvP comps with the best in slot comps anymore. He has been kind of, again, kind of niche into the tower. And again, the signature item, not a huge build in there. Then we look at Ferael, very good. The 9 of 9 in here is top tier. Even when you look at the E30, it is good. Now even though he is such an old hero to AFK Arena, guys, utility is still there. Not only does he have crowd control, but he also has the energy reduction, which is huge, guys. It is, again, very traditional Graveborn. There is a lot of the stunning ability, a lot of the crowd control that he provides. That is why we're still seeing him in quite a few comps. Overall, his damage is not as high as it used to be, but he also does have a attack rating reduction, and he also does have a health recovery rate reduction, which again is huge when it comes to the signature item. And then the Ferael, you can actually, or excuse me, the furniture, you can actually have the accursed arrow becomes his normal attack, and then you can have a lot more spirits up on the enemies, which again makes it huge. And then the E30 does provide the 1 second stun duration, so the stun does go up a little bit longer, which again is very strong. Now looking at Grez, you can see, guys, very good with that plus 30 signature item. Plus 20 is really the very good. The furniture is really the strong point when it comes to Grez, guys. The furniture is what makes the shields explode on the minion, which is the reason why he does still run in a ton of different comps. And then, of course, the 30 and the 60 are very good because he gives some scaling with the shields, which makes the shield stronger. 60 also gives him the survivability against the intelligence enemies. Now, Grez does need to scale similar to Damon. If you don't have the ability for him to scale, the utility of him literally goes through to the dirt. That is the reason why Alna Grez has become so popular. Alna provides the immunity for Grez. Grez will get the minions up. Once you start kind of chaining those minions, it is very, very hard to kill Grez because he will get healed when the skeletons die, which is, again, just kind of a really strong synergy within this hero. Then we look at Hodgkin, very good at 20, very bad at plus 30, so it's pretty funny there. And same with the engraving, guys, very good at 30, very bad at the E60. And you can see the 9 of 9 furniture is good. Now, overall, guys, he is a tank. A lot of players forget that he is a tank. With the retaliation effect or the doesn't really deal much damage at all, which is the reason, really not a big reason to build him. Now, of course, again, the furniture is the 9 of 9 furniture is huge because of the healing efficiency reduction, which is huge, and also the damage output. This really deals with the survivability. Plus, he does carry a lot of buffs. Even though he is in the tanking role, Hodgkin does have a lot of buffs, which makes him very effective to use. And then, of course, the plus 30 engraving right there, the 33 haste, you can actually get those ability up. It does work straight up with the damage that he does do. Now, looking at Isabella, she kind of falls average. Again, a lot of players do utilize her for the tower. If you're an older player, you probably have Isabella built. She was not very good. They reworked her. She worked incredibly well for a short period of time because of the crowd control aspect that she does have. And she also takes out the target with the lowest hit points, which again, she can slay enemies with her ult. Again, utility, entire kit, big picture. She works okay in the towers, but that's really the only place you're going to see her. Her damage does not scale high enough to have an effective use within all of the other game modes. Now, looking at Izold, he was another one, guys. Izold used to be an absolute monster. You can see the signature item is good. The 3 of 9 is good. When you start getting into the higher, the E60, even the E30 is average on him. Again, short of the tower, not a lot of utility for this hero anymore. He used to be impossible to kill, essentially. He has the ability to heal himself, and he would get stronger and stronger when he loses health. So again, if you could get him to scale, he still works in the Graveborn Tower, but that is really the only spot you're going to see him. Then we look at Oden, guys. Very good, top tier, very good. Absolutely, Oden is a monster. We are still seeing him in the best in slot for Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, couple other places. He is still having an incredible amount of utility. Not only the damage that he does, but also the scaling factor. So if you're in a battle that lasts a full minute 30, Oden has the time to actually open up all 3 of his eyes, get the haste built up, get the attack rating boost built up, get everything kind of going, and it goes almost on a super cycle, guys. As his haste increases, he will cast all of his skills and abilities faster, and it makes him for an absolute monster. Graveborn Tower, absolute priority when it comes to this hero because of the disruption to formations, and also the damage he puts out is very high. Now looking at Shemira, you can see, guys, it is sad. Once upon a time, Shemira was the strongest hero in AFK Arena. She was actually the carry, the one you wanted to build as soon as you started AFK Arena. Now it has kind of changed to Damon, and it seems like now, even if you can get an early copy of Rem will by far just crush campaign stages forever. Unfortunately, I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, guys, for Graveborn, this is the one that I want to see on the Awakened version. I would love to see the Awakened version of Shemira. Maybe one day we will get that. And then we have Kelthar, guys, that rounds out this page. Kelthar, of course, very bad with the majority of things. Now, he is used in the Thorn Cheese comp, and really the only place that we do see him is that Thorn Cheese comp, because he has the formation disruption, but also when he dies, he does a lot of damage, which again works incredibly well within that Thorn Cheese formation. And the final page for the Graveborn, we have Theowen. You can see average on the signature item. The furniture for her is very good. We see her actually soloing a lot of different places within the Abyssal Expedition. That's probably where she's been used more than anything else. Within the tower itself, again, if you have her invested in, she can do really well because she does go immunity, allowing the DPS to really go up significantly with the furniture. The engraving on her really not needed whatsoever. Then we get into Thorin, guys. The plus 30 is top tier. The 9 of 9 is very good. 309 is rarely where you want to build him. If you're looking to do the engraving at all, some people do the plus 11 engraving, but when you start engraving him much higher, he starts getting a lot more damage reduction, which means essentially he's going to be working less and less as you build him higher and higher, because you want to take him to take damage. That retaliation ability, it is really the methodology or the way that you do have to build Thorin to make the cheese effectively work. Now looking at Treznar, you can see, guys, pretty good. So good, and very good here. Now he had an incredible amount of utility when it came to PvP because, of course, he was the first Ainz killer. He could actually come in formations, and with his healing reduction, he could kill out Ainz very, very fast. Really changed up the entire PvP set when Treznar was released. Now again, still seeing a lot of play within the Graveborn Tower. That is really the only place that we're seeing him. But very good with that E60 because, of course, it's going to provide the frontal immunity that he has, which goes to 100% at the E60, guys. So again, a lot of players still do use him in the Treasure Scramble, depending on who you have. Works well, but short of the tower, not seeing a lot of utility. Now looking at Thorin, Thorin Morio combination was a thing once upon a time. I believe at this point it's been kind of replaced. So essentially Thorin would ult, and when he did, if any targets moved while they were ulted, they would take damage. That went hand in hand with Morio because Morio's star ability could actually keep the hero or the enemies moving. So you could literally just move enemies around the board with Thorin doing damage to them, which was huge. Again, doesn't really have much of an effectiveness outside of the tower anymore, where of course he does have to scale quite a bit to actually be able to survive within the tower, but he was used again in the cursed realm for a little bit, and as of now it doesn't seem like he's really being used. Then we have Kaylene. Kaylene, I still love, guys. She is an absolute carry when it comes to the Graveborn Tower. We also did see her in the Treasure Scramble. We've seen her in the Cursed Realm. We've seen her in a couple different areas, but it seems as of today, you know, it just has slowly faded her out. As we continue to get heroes like Matria, I know Matria kind of replaced a couple different heroes, replaced the original version of Taylene, so unfortunately she's been kind of phased out. Even looking here with Kaylene, we actually had Valoris that came out, so Valoris replaced kind of Kaylene in a bunch of those different scenarios. And again, we're going to continue to see her kind of replaced quite a bit more. Graveborn Faction Tower, she is absolutely necessity, guys, because of the damage that she puts out. Absolutely love it. There are a couple additional notes kind of on how to read this. Then, of course, we do have the abbreviations and everything. So again, guys, I want to give a big shout out to Rocket A, guys. After I did the guide yesterday, everybody was requesting all the rest of the guides, which makes me think and makes me indicate that you probably didn't catch them when they were up over on Reddit, because some of these guides have been out for a little while. So definitely, again, I'm going to put the link down below. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.